Werewolf legends are stories that have intrigued and frightened humanity for centuries. They are seen as representations of basic human fears and of the wild. Werewolves are mythological beings associated with the transformation of man into a wolf. This transformation usually takes place at the time of the full moon, and the person transformed into a werewolf gains great strength and aggression and loses the ability to think rationally. Werewolf legends originated in medieval Europe, but werewolf myths exist in much older times, in different cultures and geographies. From ancient Greece to Rome, from the Sumerians to Norse legends, many societies have created their own werewolf stories. The ancient Greek historian Herodotus in the 5th century BC mentions that the sorcerers of some communities living on the Black Sea coast turned into wolves on some days of the year. In mythology, it is also told that Zeus was angry with Lycaon, king of Arcadia, and turned him into a wolf. Lycaon remained a wolf, forever terrorizing his surroundings. However, a much older story, the Epic of Gilgamesh, tells of a similar event. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, there is a passage describing Ishtar's interest in Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh rejects her, explaining how Ishtar had turned a shepherd he loved into a wolf in the past, and that this shepherd had been torn to pieces by the dogs of his own flock. The famous Roman writer Petronius told a classic werewolf story in which a soldier is transformed into a wolf by a full moon. The transformation into wolves or other creatures by magic and curses was a common theme in Roman mythology. In Norse mythology, werewolves, called Vargur, are thought to possess great warrior spirits and are ruthless against their enemies. Similarly, in Native American mythology, there are animal-human hybrids such as bison men and bear men. In medieval Europe, werewolves were often seen as evil spirits in league with the devil. After several attacks in a small town in Germany in the 1500s, the townspeople claimed that when they cornered a wolf and killed it, they saw it suddenly transform into a human being. This event formed the basis of modern werewolf legends. In countries such as Germany and France, many cases of werewolves in the 16th century were recorded in real court records. In 1589, in the German town of Bedburg, a farmer named Peter Stump was caught responsible for a series of terrifying attacks in the surrounding villages. Witnesses claimed to have seen him transformed into a wolf, causing great panic among the local population. After his capture, Stump made confessions under torture, saying that the devil had given him a belt, which he wore to transform into a wolf and commit many murders over a period of 25 years. He claimed that during this transformation, he mutilated and ate 13 children and 2 pregnant women. As a result of these confessions under torture, Stump was brutally executed. The people of the town of Bedburg swore they had seen him transform from a wolf into a man, and this event contributed greatly to the spread of the werewolf legend throughout Europe. In 1573 in Dijon, France, a man named Gilles Garnier was accused of attacking and mutilating children in a village. Garnier was known as a lonely man and confessed in court that he had turned into a wolf and killed the children while living alone in the woods. In his confession, he said that the devil had given him an ointment and that he had used it to turn into a wolf. He was found guilty by the court and burned at the stake. Garnier's case is an important example of how strong werewolf beliefs were in Europe at the time. In 1598, in the Coude region of France, villagers saw 3 wolves tearing apart the body of a young man. When the villagers followed the wolves into the forest, they found a young man named Jacques Roulet. Roulet was found covered in blood and with pieces of meat in his hands. When he was taken to court, he confessed to being a werewolf and eating human flesh. Witnesses swore that Roulet had turned into a wolf and attacked people. Roulet also stated that 2 other wolves were werewolves like him and that they hunted together. The other wolves were never found. The court found Roulet guilty and sentenced him to death. However, the Paris court overturned this verdict and sent Roulet to a mental hospital, stating that he was mentally ill. In 1603, near Bordeaux in France, a 13-year-old boy named Jean Grenier confessed to killing and eating young girls. Grenier claimed that he had turned into a wolf using a special ointment. He told the court that the devil had given him this power and that he used it to hunt people. Witnesses presented ample evidence that Grenier had attacked children and young girls in the village. Grenier was found guilty by the court, but due to his mental retardation, he was sentenced to be confined to a convent instead of the death penalty. In 1692, in Livonia, present-day Latvia and Estonia, a man named Thies of Kaltenbrunn was put on trial for being a werewolf. Thies told the court that he was a chosen werewolf and that he fought with other werewolves like himself to save souls from hell. According to him, these werewolves saved souls from hell by fighting the servants of the devil. Thias claimed that in these battles he transformed into his werewolf form and fought against evil. This is notable because, unlike other werewolf trials, Thias identified himself as a good werewolf. Thias argued in court that his transformation was not the result of any magic or demonic pact, but rather an innate ability. The fact that Thias confessed to all this without being tortured showed that he really believed what he was saying. However, since he gave contradictory statements each time, the court did not take Thias's claims seriously and thought that he had a perverted belief. Thias was found guilty and exiled rather than face harsh punishment. Apart from all these events, many people throughout history have been falsely accused of being werewolves and have said they were werewolves in order to escape torture and die as soon as possible. The accusation of werewolves is similar to the accusation of witchcraft, and sometimes people have been accused of both. Some sources say that up to 30,000 people in France have been unjustly killed or tortured on this accusation. In fact, the fear of werewolves is not entirely unfounded. According to historian Jean-Marc Morisseau, around 7,600 people were killed by wolves in France between 1362 and 1918. This statistic explains the impact and fear of wolves on human societies throughout history. Especially in rural areas, wolf attacks have posed a serious threat. These attacks have triggered people's imagination, leading to the spread of werewolf legends and stories. One of the most common elements of werewolf legends is that becoming a werewolf is through being bitten or cursed. Sound familiar? According to legends, anyone bitten or wounded by a werewolf is doomed to turn into a wolf under the light of the full moon. This is a common motif in modern werewolf stories, based on the belief that man directly inherits this curse from another being. Another common belief is the transformation into a werewolf through magic and rituals. In medieval Europe, it was believed that some people were transformed into wolves by using various spells and ointments. Such rituals were often depicted as dark and mysterious rites. The effect of the full moon on werewolves is an important part of legends. Werewolves are believed to maximize their powers during the full moon, and their transformation takes place during this period. The full moon is seen as a factor that increases the werewolf's aggressiveness and ferocity. Werewolves are much stronger and more resilient than a normal human being. Their bodies heal at great speed, and their hunting skills are enhanced. However, werewolves also have weaknesses. Their most well-known weakness is silver. If a werewolf is wounded or killed by a silver bullet or knife, it immediately reverts back to its human form. For this reason, werewolf hunters often use silver bullets. According to legends, werewolves can only be recognized by their eyes and voices, as these features are not affected by the transformation and give them away. The transformation process is quite painful and dramatic. The human body gradually changes under the influence of the full moon. Bones lengthen, muscles grow, and the body becomes covered with hair. Teeth and fingernails sharpen, and the eyes become bright and wild. During the transformation, the human's height and weight increase dramatically, giving it extraordinary physical strength. Werewolves are strong even in human form before the transformation, but during the transformation, these powers reach their peak. They show incredible speed, endurance, and healing ability. Their wounds heal quickly, and in most cases, they are almost invincible. However, when wounded with silver, their ability to heal stops, and they can even die. After completing their transformation, werewolves are driven by savage and predatory instincts. Their hunting skills are sharpened, and they have excellent vision even in the dark of night. When they go on a manhunt, they act in great silence and secrecy. During the transformation, their consciousness is often clouded, and they lose their human emotions. They take on the mood of a hungry, wounded, and angry wolf. They forget all their human memories and show no mercy to anyone. This makes them uncontrollable and dangerous. After the transformation, many werewolves become isolated from social life and prefer to live alone. Psychologically, they live in a constant internal battle, caught between their human emotions and their savage instincts. This situation strains them both physically and mentally, and often leaves them with a feeling of great loneliness and helplessness. This is why being able to turn into a werewolf is considered a curse, not a blessing. They can unintentionally harm even those they love the most. Werewolves have no intelligence or willpower like vampires. Apart from hunting and escaping, they are completely brainless. This is why some people today, such as those living in New Orleans, are enamored with the theme of vampirism, but are far from the theme of werewolves. You can already claim to be a vampire by wearing false teeth and old clothes, but you need a lot more to become a werewolf. Werewolf legends have a scientific and psychological basis in a rare psychological disorder called lycanthropy. It is a condition in which a person believes that he or she has transformed into a wolf or other animal. Originating from King Lycaon of Arcadia, lycanthropy is derived from the Greek words lykos, meaning wolf, and anthropos, meaning person. Individuals with this condition may experience extreme aggression, strong hallucinations, and personality changes during the transformation. Psychiatry often associates such cases with other serious mental illnesses, such as schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. In modern medicine, there is also a condition called hypertrichosis, known as werewolf syndrome. Hypertrichosis is a genetic disorder that causes excessive hair growth over most of the body. This has caused many people throughout history to be misunderstood as werewolves. The effects of the full moon on human behavior are an important part of werewolf legends. Scientific research has shown that some people can be more restless, sleepless, and aggressive during a full moon. These effects are explained by the theory that just as the moon's gravitational force causes tides in the sea, it can also affect the water in the human body. Given that most of the human body is made up of water, this theory has a logical basis. There is an inconsistency in werewolf stories or movies. The reason for the effects of the full moon on humans is not the light but its position in relation to the Earth and the Sun. At the time of the full moon, the Earth is exactly between the Sun and the Moon. This causes the tidal effect. However, in stories, when the moonlight comes out, people turn into werewolves. When the clouds block the moon, the transformation does not take place. But going into a cave or enclosed space and being deprived of moonlight does not affect the transformation. This creates inconsistencies in the stories. Werewolf myths can be explained not only by individual psychological disorders, but also by social and cultural dynamics. In medieval Europe, social fears and beliefs resulted in witch hunts and werewolf accusations. During this period, people with unnatural behavior or physical differences could easily be branded as werewolves or witches. The method people use to turn into a werewolf is usually an ointment. In the Middle Ages, people often claimed that they turned into werewolves after applying a special ointment. This ointment is thought to be belladonna. The leaves of this herb, which is abundant in Europe, could have produced an ointment with halogenic properties. This could have rendered the person unconscious, giving them various hallucinations or driving them mad and making them aggressive. Because of the belief in werewolves, which was already widespread in the society, those who used this ointment may have thought that they had turned into werewolves. In the past, the conditions that nowadays lead to a referral to a psychiatric clinic could have put you in the hands of the executioner. Werewolf legends and accusations form a dark and complex part of history. They offer important clues to understanding the fears, beliefs, and social dynamics of human nature. They also provide a deep understanding of how justice systems and social structures function. Even today, werewolf stories continue to live on in popular culture, appearing in everything from movies to books. These legends remain both a matter of historical curiosity and an important cultural heritage, reflecting the complexity of human nature. Throughout history, there may indeed have been large wolf-like predators that walked on two legs and may have become extinct. There are many mysteries in the world that we have yet to discover. We cannot solve them by denying them or waging war against them. They will be solved by people who are curious, who investigate, and who ask themselves, what is the truth of this, before they accuse? What distinguishes us from werewolves is not that we are not angry, aggressive, and predatory. It is that we are able to suppress these impulses in spite of everything.